Morning has broken, my windows are open. Wanna feel the wind blow through my hair. Which way do I follow? What happens tomorrow? I turn to you and hope you can guide the way.
Welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen, and this is the beginning of my morning. And I have been trying really hard to keep up with the house, and my husband put away the dishes on this day. I feel like we're 3 days in a row where we've cleaned up the kitchen before we go to bed. We used to do it every single night, but we fell into a rut, and now we're slowly climbing our way back out. One of the best things about having a morning routine is that everyone in the house generally knows what you do each morning, and so they can pick up and do those things for you when they decide to, or if you're sick. So it's always great once in a while when someone will pick up and work on my morning routine without me. That was me just kind of saying good morning to Leo. He sometimes will come up and sit in my lap, but sometimes it's a little frustrating because I do want to get going on the day, and he would like to spend his time snuggling. So sometimes it's kind of nice when he gives me my distance, but it felt kind of weird that we hadn't had a morning snuggle. I don't know if you know it. I'm actually putting another video onto YouTube here because I needed some cleaning motivation, but that first screen that I showed you, there's so many videos on YouTube that are like nature scenes with very calming music behind them, and I'll often put one on, or just like nature sounds, bird sounds, and they'll be like 12 hours long. So I'll just put them on in the house as background noise. Sometimes it's like rain and birds, that kind of thing. I especially love to do that. If it is raining out, then I like to have the inside sounds kind of match. I'm really looking forward to feeding the birds throughout the winter and getting to have that little piece of spring stick around even when it's snowy. And I don't know if you know this. You tell me if this is the same where you live. When it gets to be about the time when the clocks change, so we just, the clocks just fell back today, so we gained an hour, that is when I feel that deep sense of hibernation. Do you hibernate in your area? Actually, I've been feeling it for about a month, but we do change clocks later than we used to. It's going to be getting dark super early up until December 21st. It'll be 3 minutes earlier every day is how it works. And then December 21st, I think is the shortest day of the year. If not, it's the 20th. It's the shortest day of the year. And then we'll start adding 3 minutes of daylight every single day. So on December 21st, it will be dark here. And I mean dark at 4:30 in the afternoon. So right now, it has been like 6 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening, and so now we've changed the clocks by an hour, and I'm already seeing it's 4:08 as I do this voiceover. It's starting to get a little bit dark. So I'm a Mainer through and through, and we hibernate in the winter. And so I'm feeling that big time. I told my husband, I'm like, okay, I'm not leaving the house again until April. And honestly, if I could do that, I probably would be just as happy. Honestly, I just love to be home so much. I'm a homebody anyway. And then when it starts to get cold, it gets dark early. It just feels like I don't really want to go out. Or if I do go out, I want to be home by dark. Isn't that crazy? And it's not because I'm older. I've felt this probably my whole adult life, but I probably even in my late teens, early 20s was starting to feel it already. And it's really not winter blues because it doesn't make me sad. It actually makes me feel quite calm and content and happy. And then when spring really kind of comes through in March, I start to feel restless. By April, I'm wanting to get out, to go places, and on it goes. So you might have seen me put a couple of towels to my right, your left. That's because they're Halloween dishcloths, and I'm going to be packing those away. Halloween's officially over, of course. We're trudging to Thanksgiving. I was going to really resist Christmas decorating I know some have already start on Halloween, and I was going to resist, and I've watched a couple of videos, and now I'm craving Christmas music. But I think what I'm going to do this week is start pulling out the Christmas decor, go over it, make some decisions on where everything is going and what that's going to look like. So that will kind of keep me going. You know, so often I feel like I'm way ahead on the holidays, and then I realize you're not ahead. You're behind. You know, you start out ahead, you end up behind. I do feel more of a calm about Christmas this year. Usually I'm already in a panic, but I'm feeling more of a calm, thinking, no, it's all going to happen. It'll be fine. And I have made the decision. My youngest is 18 years old. I told the kids, okay, we are not going to do Christmas stockings this year. What we're actually going to do is Hanukkah. You know, Jesus celebrated Hanukkah. It talks about him in the Feast of Lights or the Festival of Lights. Either way, feast or festival, I don't know. But we are going to get a menorah. We're going to add Hanukkah to our celebration, and I'm going to do the little gifts of Hanukkah for those that live here, and I'm going for my other single daughter that doesn't live. I feel like I might have said this to you already. I'm going to send her a really nice advent calendar. I'm just so excited about that. Anything that you could do new or fresh can be so terribly exciting, and I do want to look up maybe Hanukkah feast recipes or something like that, you know, and see what I can do in that way. I think sometimes it's just fun to change it up. This will be our last Christmas before Yvonne has her baby, of course. So next year we'll have a new little baby in the house. And I was telling Yvonne by the time it's Christmas, her baby will be about 6 months old, pushing 7 months old. And isn't that wonderful age where they're just as excited over the box as they are over the present? Oh, goodness, it's going to be so much fun. So getting all of these things put away now. And I also wanted to show you again our bathroom upstairs, because in the last video where I showed Robin's progress, that's where the lights will go. I didn't really get to show you the overview. I had showed it in a previous video. That's where one more sink needs to go. And this is where I put the bird pictures, and you can see up at top we needed to have more of the trim work done. We're getting there, slow but sure, but those are the bird pictures that I got at Hobby Lobby. This will be changing soon because this was for fall, and soon I will be decorating that little shelf for Christmas. I'm really loving the straw. Boho and coastal definitely overlap. I'm more interested in the coastal style, but this curtain right here that you see is more boho, but I think it goes really well with the whole coastal vibe. And then we're playing off beige and gray and white, and then it'll be a very calming spa-like atmosphere. So super excited about that. Excited to work on the trim and get that all done. Hoping that we can have the trim done. There's the new floor. Hoping we can have the trim done by the time people come for Christmas.
Tablespoon of butter. I'm going to put this in here and it's going to the microwave. I am making almond pancakes for one. Usually when I melt butter it's about 40 seconds in the microwave. Now we get to the good stuff. I have this cup that we keep all of our spoons in. I'm going to use some almond flour. Grab my tablespoon. Make sure I got my stuff right. 4 of those I need, so 1. 2. 3. Lastly, because we're getting near the end of this bag, number 4. Good amount there. And 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. So I need a 1/4 teaspoon, which is a very small amount. This is an 1/8, so I'll put 2 of these in there. There's 1, And 2 of the baking powder. Right. I need some salt. It says a pinch of salt. So I'm going to take salt. Just a small amount. Pinch. Okey-doke. And I'll add it here for the moment. Set that aside. Give this a quick stir. Okay. Got my egg and my butter. So, put the butter here. See, butter is melted. I'll put my egg in here. And I usually like to use a fork when I do that. Just use no fork. Now that we've done that, add our butter. Add that in there. Get this mixed around. Some more. There's none of that left. Clean up our space.
Another habit I'm trying to re-establish is getting anything that we're going to be eating for supper out of the freezer into the microwave to be defrosted and then into the refrigerator. You can see I took my morning shower. My hair is still wet and I am going to get more laundry transferred over because that is always so helpful to my day when I can keep the laundry rolling. I do help Yvonne a little bit with her laundry. She's been helping me, especially with cleaning the kitchen at night, which I really do appreciate. There's been a couple of nights. Well, one night she was out there. We weren't even out there. And I said to my husband, is Yvonne out there doing the dishes? And sure enough, she was. She also is a champ at making sure we have soap up in both bathrooms, making sure the toilet paper has been stocked, all those good things. So as I was getting my morning routine finished up, my husband was heading outside to start on some yard cleanup. He even got out the chainsaw. Woozy was ready at the window to see what progress could be made. So out here, he's getting the extension. Look at all those leaves. Not all of the leaves are even down. And I saw a thing, and it was saying, it was like a meme or something, I don't know. But it was saying, you do realize that if you don't rake up the leaves, it will turn to soil. It's like, well, yeah, but not if you live in the woods like I do. Oh, goodness. So there's our best friend, the chainsaw, and he's going to get some wood that we've kind of supplied, or not supplied, but stored. There was this storm wood still from when we had a bunch of branches coming down, and then he had stuff that he had cut up, and it was too large to go in our little campfire, so he's also going to get that chopped up a little bit as well. Even though we live in a lakeside community, And even though we only have half-acre lots, there is so much to clean up because of all of those trees. So honestly, I would be just as happy if we were on a quarter of an acre. I don't feel like I need a whole lot of land. When my grandkids were here, you know, if you have a little driveway, if you have a little basketball hoop, if you have a small yard where they can kick a ball around, it just seems like that's really all that we need. Of course, when we moved here, we had young children, and then we hit a reboot when we adopted and had young children again. And it's been great to have places for them to swim that are within 5 minutes. And we have kayaks, and then there's fishing, and you don't have a busy street. So it's kind of nice when they're playing outside. You're not worried about, if you live on a highway and if kids are getting in the road. Neighbors pretty much know who we're in Maine. We don't exactly get together for neighborhood barbecues or anything, but in general, neighbors know neighbors and look out for one another. We have a Facebook page for our community, and so you do get news there, see what's going on. This is our little area. My husband would love to make this into a patio one day, but for now, this is where we like to have our fires and our s'mores and just sit together as a family. So he is getting this all cleaned up. I used to think this spot was incapable of growing grass, and then I realized that grass won't grow wherever there are pine spills. So as I have kept the pine spills more and more cleaned up, we have grown more and more grass. So it's very important to me that these areas that do grow grass get raked up first, so that if we do peter out and don't get all of the raking done, at least the spots that grow grass are all raked and my gardens are raked out. Those couple of things are really important. I still have my vegetable garden, my container garden to clean out. Hopefully I'll get that done this week. And I also want to get my basement tidied, and I want to look at storm supplies so we can be ready for any winter blizzards. And I need to, go through the Christmas decor. There's so much to get done, so stay tuned. This week will be a great week for you to be checking in on me and seeing what I have for new content. Definitely a lot of seasonal content coming up. And I am doing more and more cooking, and it would be great if I could get some crafting done. I'm starting to realize that I just have a really hard time doing hobbies. I have a really hard time stopping and getting all the craft stuff out and then putting it all away. That whole process sometimes feels like more energy than I have. So I tend to work, and then kind of collapse. So it's definitely something I want to work on. And where winter is coming, hopefully it will get easier to be working on these things. So it was interesting to have my husband out there doing lawn work, yard work without me. Usually I'm the one out there and I'm asking him to come on out and join me. So this was a really cool thing. And he got the fire pit all full of wood, and we talked about having a fire that night. But I honestly, again, I worked and then I collapsed. So I was editing all day, getting all of the rest of his bathroom footage up for you yesterday. So it was a long day in front of the computer. But never fear, today I got to get outside, which you'll see tomorrow, and that made me so happy. It was a lot colder today. It was actually Fahrenheit in the 40s. It was like 47, 49 degrees. So it was much cooler, but definitely a good day to have a fire. And now I officially smell like lots and lots of smoke. Oh, goodness. And our two daughters, Yvonne and Ava, both went to work. And it's just been a quiet Sunday afternoon. My husband actually had a work crisis he had to take care of. That's always something that can happen where he works, is you can think you have the weekend and then something breaks and he is in, the whole computer programming, report building life. So if reports can't happen, he has to kind of get on there and figure out why, which is what happened to him today, which was a shame. But fortunately, he was able to get through it in a few hours, and then we could enjoy the rest of the day. But it's just interesting how the sun is setting so much lower in the sky now. I have so appreciated getting to hang out with you, and I have decided that I really want to try harder to get a video up every day, even if it's a shorter one like this one, so that we can visit a little bit and I can say hi to you all, and you'll have some motivation for your day for the things that you're trying to get done, or maybe 20 minutes of a video where you can sit and relax. I find it so relaxing to watch other people work. I think that's a big part of my motivation when I originally started watching cleaning videos on YouTube. So I hope you had a great weekend, and remember, as always, God loves you. I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.